Hello there, welcome to In My Opinion 4 Wildcat Gun Machine.
There is no story here, and I kinda wish there was since I like our lead's design. Yeah, I don't even know if she has a name. And everything seems pretty nuts here as well, so I would have liked something, but I'm not holding it against the game. I believe the way they describe this game is an isometric bullet hell dungeon crawler. So that means they'll be mowing down rooms and rooms of enemies as they cover the area with deadly bullets. The main goal is to wipe out every room in the main world you're in, taking down the bosses which unlock a giant door to the mega boss, and then do the same thing a few more times. Along the way you'll be picking up plenty of different and fun to use weapons to help with your goal, such as pistols, shotguns, laser guns, flamethrowers, and some of these have special properties like bouncing off the wall. You're bound to find some favorites and stick to them, and each of these weapons have stats you can check out as well. While the game usually gives you 2 or 3 bigger weapons in each area, you do have to buy pistols, which are your fallback weapons as they have infinite ammo unlike the other guns. Your currency is in bones and goes up as you kill enemies, with different enemies offering more bones. The game usually gives you 3 new pistols to buy when you get to a whole new area, and I recommend you buy at least 1, since most of the time the pistols you bought in the last area won't do as much damage. The combat is pretty straightforward, but it doesn't take away the enjoyment it delivers, and what helps is a responsive control, so you never feel cheated when you finally kick the bucket. While the game does feel kinda easy at the start, that's just it letting you get comfortable. As you move to new areas, it starts to ramp up little by little, so much so you'll be in some tense battles. And this especially goes for all your boss encounters who are really fun to take out and give you a good challenge. Also, the areas themselves have to add to the challenge with stuff like lasers and toxic gas. I feel the game doesn't give you enough tools to take down these obstacles. Of course you have the many guns I already mentioned, you also get some extra special moves and upgrades. As you're killing, you feel this meter called a gun machine, which you can activate whenever, and doing so puts you in an invulnerable killing machine for a limited time, which can save your ass and help you clear out a room. And you do unlock different ones as you beat each mega boss. Also, really early in the game you unlock a grenade attack and most importantly, a dash attack, and both have a cooldown timer after each use. Now I say the dash is the most important because the game has a mechanic called chain dashing. When you dash you can't be hurt, but once you use it you're kind of waiting for it to fill up again, feeling nervous while shit gets hectic. Well, with chain dashing, if you keep pressing the dash button at just the right moment, you can keep your dash going on for as long as you do it. I did not realize how important this mechanic was until I got to the more challenging encounters. You basically need to be decent at doing this to raise your chance of survival, but luckily the window is not insane and you'll be able to put it off once you get the rhythm down. I feel like if I can do it, anyone can. As mentioned, there is a currency system in the game which you can go to the main checkpoint marker to spend some there. And besides weapons, you can also upgrade certain things such as how many grenades you have at one time, your overall movement speed, and most importantly, you can increase how many dashes you have at a time. Which is great since if you screw up a chain dash, you don't have to wait for it to refill again. There's also cats that you can buy which come in handy, as when you die there are 2 options you have, which is either use a cat that revives you close to where you died, or just restart at the main marker. If you run out of cats, then you have no choice but to return to the marker, and not only that, you start to lose some of your bone money. I did notice something, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but if you go back to the marker after using a cat, the cat will come back for use again. And this would respawn more than 1 cat depending how much you have upgraded to, which makes the chance that you losing bones less likely. Now it might sound annoying to do this every time you're running low on cats, but thankfully the game has warp points on the map that send you right back to the marker, and you run into a decent amount of them. So you can use these warps to refresh your cats, and the warp hole is still there after using the marker that will send you right back to the last warp you used. This is also helpful if you want to change your loadout, since the only way to do so is the marker. The game offers an easy to understand map separated by colors, as you need certain color keycards to reach certain areas. It also shows you where the bosses are at, the ammo caches, shield pickups, health pickups, and even where the new guns are hiding. You can bring up the map whenever you feel like it as well. I do wish the game had like a new game plus mode to bring over everything you've bought and upgrade it, allowing you to fully upgrade yourself and buy all the pistols. Instead, once you're done with it, there's not much else to do but start a whole new run again. One thing I have to mention is the final boss. Yes, I did say the bosses are fun, but fuck this final boss. It's not even a too hard situation, it's more that this boss goes against everything the game has been teaching you the whole time. I'm going to start showing some of it in a sec if you're curious, and if you don't want to see it, then just skip to the next section of the review. When you get to this piece of shit, your dashing ability is gone, and so are all your weapons, and all of a sudden it becomes the game Ikaruga. I guess they want to pull the rug from under the player, but what happens when you make someone trip and fall? They bang their fucking heads on the floor and it's not an enjoyable time. I actually really like the look of this game. Even though it's pretty bright and colorful, the creatures you fight are not ones you want to cuddle with. Their designs are creative looking like hellish monsters, and more different ones are added as you progress in the game, with only a few showing up again with some differences. The bosses are really the standout when it comes to designs, looking more monstrous, And nothing is reused here unless you count the gauntlet section, which I don't count. As I mentioned before, I also dig our leads look, and the chippy design they went for doesn't kill it for me. Another nice little visual touch is when you buy more cats, they appear around the marker in different poses and look rather cute. The maps themselves do change once you beat the mega boss, so if you do start to get tired of the same area, don't worry, as others have their own look and feel. I played this game on my PS5 and it ran silky smooth and I never ran into a bug.
I did have a good time with this, and yeah, I would have liked some type of story or something more for the lead, but sometimes being simple is not a bad thing. It has some nice and tight controls which led to some fun and challenging gameplay, except for the final boss. Fuck 'em. It took me about 4 hours to beat, and there's really no replay value at all. Even with that, I still would recommend this game if you're in the mood for a short but sweet bullet hell game. So go out there and make them guns purr. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on this game, and for gamers' sakes, keep gaming.